Life Happens and Death Too is my second book of short stories and poetry that are thematically connected. A particular poem leads into the story that follows it. The stories are about men and women who belong to different generations, and the conflicts that get created between generations as well as between genders, and the issues of getting older as an immigrant, the conflicts of a teenager, and the overall conflicts that are created when one has to transfer from one identity, the identity that one is born in, into another. As a psychotherapist, I've had many years of experience in working with people who have experienced some level of what I would call immigration trauma rather, and the internal anxiety and conflicts that is created by this very major experience. For example, I have one story from the eyes of an older woman in her 80s as she experiences the life as an immigrant coming dependent on her adult children, and the conflict and the anxiety that creates, and her coming to terms with the limitations this new life has for her. There's another story, it's a story called Valmiki becomes Valya. It's a takeoff on the old Valmiki's tale, the mythological story about each individual having to take responsibility for their actions. And this contemporary Valmiki, who's named Valmiki by his mother, and she insists that he be called Valmiki, but he'd rather be known as Valya. And as the two identities, that of the traditional Valmiki and a modern man trying to deal with his new marriage with a woman who was a widow and whose children he has adopted, and the conflicts that create. There's also an aura of longing to get back to your roots, which is something most immigrants experience. I would not consider my stories in poetry as diasporic literature, but these are universal. These stories are universal. Conflicts happen everywhere, except in my case, as Jane Austen's case, who wrote about a very small set of people in 18th century England, I write about men and women who happen to be of Indian heritage living in the United States. Since I am both a poet and a fiction writer, it seemed to make sense for me to combine the two together. What often happens is one gets denigrated into a given category. You're either a poet, or you are a fiction writer, or you're a non-fiction writer. I do all three. In fact, I write in English, which is my primary language. I also write in Marathi, which is my mother tongue, though I've had very little formal education, and I also write in Hindi. My first poem came in Marathi at the birth of my grandson. And after that, I'll get up in the morning at 3 o'clock and I need to write. Currently, I'm putting together a collection of Marathi poems, my conversations with God, because I've been in India for the last 2 months, and I will be for another 2 months on what I call an experiment in living. Amazing thing that has happened in the last several months is a short collection of poetry for children is going to be published. In the poems, oftentimes it's total feeling, so it stays abstract. Occasionally, I am creating images which get reflected in the short stories, in the stories that follow. Then they take on the image in a poem. But again, I'm not a mathematician. For me, 2 and 2 doesn't make 4. Sometimes 2 and 2 makes 6, sometimes 2 and 2 makes 5, sometimes it's 200. So it all depends on what frame I'm in, what mood I'm in. And the other thing is, I'm at that stage, an age in my life where I write because I am passionate about what I'm doing. And beyond that, I really don't. It's not that I don't care. It's not an insensitivity I want to express. It's not important to me. As long as my integrity gets reflected, I'm telling a story, it flows, and it's authentic, I've done my job. The rest is up to the reader.